Oh, no! Yo, what is happening?
You say I'm happening?
Gangstagrass is dizzy. What's up, folks? We missed our regular Friday 9 o'clock live stream time because we're down here in North Carolina at Merle Fest, and we were out catching some amazing music. We saw Amethyst Kia tonight, and it was awesome. So now we're back at the hotel, and we're chilling. I got my people with me. Sleeves in the house, Dan in the house.
Oh, hey.
Dolio in the house. I don't know how to turn this. So there we go. Yes.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
So excited about Merle Fest tomorrow night on the Dance Tent stage, 10 p.m. So if you're anywhere near Wilkesboro, North Carolina, you should come on down. We will be very excited to see you.
This banquet that we scored here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I already crushed mine.
This
Good
is
salad.
a banquet for what?
There's some good salad.
Got mine earlier.
Fries, granola.
What?
Come on over here. Hey. How's it going? You know, I just realized I just picked this up like I pick up my son. Hey, come here. All right. Who's a good buddy? There's like zero chance, I think, that I hope he's not asleep. Not asleep. I hope he's not awake at this point, because that is late. If you're awake, you should be asleep. Everybody else, hello?
Hi to Philippe in the YouTube.
Hi to Philippe in the YouTube. Danjo here, coming to you. The most awesome dad.
He beat us out, man.
And I'm here with
Current
my
ranking 19th.
I'm here with my Feast of Wonders. I got a nice like a chef salad, I think is what that is, with some the fridge had some good healthy foods, and there was like a cheese and crackers, and I'm really glad that they refrigerated the cheese. That makes sense to do. Unfortunately, the pretzels, well, you shouldn't refrigerate pretzels.
Salads are good though.
Okay?
Salads are good.
Don't refrigerate
Had a
pretzels.
good salad.
And these fig things.
These fig bars.
Yeah, we got the score here. We got Dolio, what do you got here? What are you rocking for fig bar?
It's a blueberry fig bar.
Mm-hmm.
I just ate me a nice salad with some chicken.
Yeah, what do you got? Some Kind Bar?
I'm
We got
on
some
dessert now.
Sara Lee, iced chocolate and pound. You know, honestly, surprised myself saying this, but I would have gone, whoa! Alright. That's tonight's show, folks. Thanks so much.
Alright.
Hey, Parrish
Snacks
in
and salads.
Buffalo. Hey, Dan Toma.
Yeah.
What else going on?
Yeah.
MAD, most often dead. Yeah, we are in North Carolina.
Lucky.
We're like not so far from Winston-Salem, Raleigh-Durham.
2 hours from Raleigh, Durham.
Okay, a little further than.
Let's show them the evacuation guide.
Okay, this is actually really important. Everybody listen up. All right. So, just gotta, okay, in case there is a
you
fire.
all to know how we would evacuate
Yeah, during this live
in
stream.
a situation.
Well, and you may need to evacuate too.
There's
so-
arrows that go here, and then they go over here to number 5.
Yeah. Number
So
5.
That tells you mainly what you need to know.
If you want to stay alive, you got to get to number 5.
Mhm. Yeah.
Number 5 is alive.
And
We were
then
talking
the-
about short circuit earlier today.
The red squares are fire extinguishers.
No,
And
disassemble.
The blue squares are pull station, whatever that means.
Yep.
So
Got to get your pull.
I don't know. These arrows are all going this way.
Out. That's just
I think these are
GTFO.
like,
Get out. Run.
These are just
I want to know
vectors of
if these are
velocity.
all just like get out, get out, get out. These ones are like get in somehow, run down the hall
like, go
screaming.
through the hall.
That's your job. This person's job is to warn everyone else that there's a fire. This person has
Well,
to go
look,
from here
These
over to
these folks are going towards each other. Just run at each other right there.
That's really good. That's important stuff.
Head first.
So
In case of fire, number 1, notify the front desk. Okay, so let's just show how that would go.
here we go.
We're like,
All right, folks.
Yo, there's a
Hey.
fire, dude.
Did you see that fire out the window? Pretty cool, huh?
You should probably stop
We're
yelling
supposed to
fire
notify
really
it from
loud.
desk.
I mean,
Say,
don't do that. Don't
Hello.
do that.
No.
That's
This
probably
is-
a live line.
You say, hello, this is room 927.
It's not room
And
927.
we would like to formally announce to you that there is some flame related occurrence nearby. So we'll email you the details and wait patiently here for your reply. Thank you. It's been lovely speaking to you, and we will continue to enjoy the fire. And then they send you an email, and you get the email that says it is a confirmation that we have received your notification of the fire.
This is like the IT crowd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to start with, dear sir / madam, I am calling to inform you that there is a fire.
Greetings from northern Finland.
The funny
Hi,
thing,
Kai.
the funny thing
Thank
about
you for joining us.
fire, not prevention, but firefighting, is it actually turn the fire off and then don't turn it back on again is actually it's pretty much how you stop a fire. Is just turn it off.
Don't turn it on.
Have you tried turning it off?
They threw a fire resistant covering over the oldest tree in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what up.
It's like some Saving Private Ryan. Like all the other ones are gonna die.
I did see that movie, but I don't remember it. I remember it was horrifying and traumatizing, and I don't remember anything
It's
else
that.
about it.
It's
which
that.
is obviously,
But
you know.
the plot line focuses on like, well, it's extra sad if this guy were to die, so we're going to save him. In the middle of Normandy, in the middle of like, you know, the ultimate push, and like everybody else dies, and a few people, you know, in this like rescue team die trying to save him. So there's just a lot of like
And
sort of
he
the absurdity.
feels great about that.
Yeah, yeah. That's the last line that the sergeant says to him as he's spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody. The sergeant's sitting there dying, and like finally, you know, the reinforcements are there, and he's gonna make it home, and he's gonna get there. But like everybody, almost everybody on the team has died. And the sergeant's been
Spoiler
there-
alert, his name was not actually Private this whole time.
Yeah.
Was it Ryan?
Private.
blowing your mind.
Private is his middle name. Saving is his first name.
Oh yes.
His full name.
That's
Must be Ryan.
the twist ending.
Yeah.
We got Rich in Northern California. What up, Rich? And we're doing great. We've had a great day. We drove a lot, and you know, had a little bit of gas station food, but now it's salads and these lovely fig bars. We're happy
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
You know what else we got for dinner tonight? Cream cheese.
Ew.
I mean cottage cheese.
That would be pretty. The cream cheese that we froze for a while
God.
and then put on the ceiling.
Cottage cheese ceilings, baby.
Oh, you know, of all the great people, so we saw. Have we talked about Amethyst Kia? Have we talked about seeing her set?
So good.
So good.
So
We got
good.
there for Leanne Rhymes. We got
Yeah.
there just in time for Leanne Rhymes.
Hey, we got a new
Hey, Melanie.
Thank you for
Resubscribe.
re-subscribing.
What's up?
Re-upping.
Live, hi from
What's up,
Iowa. Ew.
We miss you, Melanie.
What's up with it? Ew. We've enjoyed Iowa.
We like Iowa. Iowa's cool.
We had a good time at the yacht club.
We were in Davenport right after the flood.
That's right. That
Yeah.
was a really good time, actually.
Oh my God, that
We were really happy to be there, especially after
yeah,
the flood.
to be
That
able to
Cajun
make the show
restaurant we
happen
went
at
to
all.
beforehand?
Yeah.
Is that again for the Cajun restaurant?
No. Cajun restaurant in Davenport?
No.
Yeah. Well, no, I
Was
got
it?
those.
It's like on the way there. That wasn't like that was.
Yeah, that was on the way there.
between cities.
I
We
got
always
that
come
really
back
cool
to
pair of
food.
sneakers
You remember
in
where that
Davenport.
was?
No, but it was during the flood.
Yeah.
What was that place we went to today? My Cravings with a Z.
Oh
my
yeah, if you
God.
guys are ever in
It
the
was a
DC,
TARDIS.
if you're ever in the DC area, heading west on 66, and you're passing Manassas, and you want a quick stop that's super right close by the highway, there's a place called My Cravings. Cravings is spelled with a Z.
Warning.
Um,
There's a warning though. This You have to be careful if you go there because you'll probably end up buying everything you see behind
I
the
bought
bars.
everything. I ate it all
Yeah.
on the van ride. I knew there was a long drive, so I figured I would get one. Let's see. I got like 2 or 3 different. The surprise was they got a bunch of great Turkish food there. Like they've got standard bakery stuff. So I got an eclair. I got a pear tart. Both of those were excellent, and like not surprising. But then they had like an entire display shelf of just baklava, just different
types of
baklava.
baklava.
There's a
All
walnut
of them
one.
superb.
There was a pistachio one. I got one that was like a pouch of pistachio filling, like not even layered. It was just like surrounded by filo dough and
delicious.
syrup. I got one thing that was just like fried dough and syrup. So I've had a pretty
Churro
good
nugget.
day. How about you? Anyway, my cravings
It was
right
very,
outside
very
Manassas.
aptly named.
Yes.
My cravings.
Yeah.
It could also be called Hall of Temptation.
Yeah. It was good. Another time when I
Nope.
had a moment to sit down, I would have loved some.
Dolio,
some
tell us about that tart.
Turkish
It was,
coffee.
it was like a lemon meringue tart with like a shortbread crust with like lemon curd and lovely meringue on the top. It was, looks like they kind of caramelized it with flame or something. It was delicious.
And what about this thing, the potato? How is it pronounced?
Let me see.
Gozleme? I mean, it was like a.
Gozleme.
Go
Yeah,
see me
it tasted
outside.
Gozleme,
It
something.
was like it tasted like a laka inside a roti.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
not as heavy as that sounds. It was actually pretty light.
Nice and fluffy on the
Yeah,
inside.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was really good.
And we demolished it.
Yeah, so that was good. This is good
Mhm.
too. What else? What other foods are there?
Having a nice tea.
Last night I made spaghetti, some homemade tomato sauce. That was good.
Yum.
Sometimes I like to take a mug right before bed, a mug of ice cream and milk, and basically like make a milkshake, but just put it all in there and not stir it up. It's pretty good to do. Amethyst was great. Other people we ran into just right before we went back to the
Pete
to the
Wernick.
hotel, we ran into Pete Wernick. Pete Wernick, if you don't know who he is 2 or 3 important things. Banjo player for a band called Hot Rise, and in being that, is just one of the most significant and influential banjo players ever. I don't know if he's really as well known for his solo work, which is excellent. So that's kind of a shame. But he's just one of those guys that just really has held it down for 40 years. I saw him at Rocky Grass a couple years ago when I was out there in Colorado, where he lives. And Hot Rise was doing their 40th anniversary show, which was really something special. Pete has in addition to his other thing, which is prolific teaching work, he teaches a wonderful method to get people jamming in a group setting. And he's also written just a mountain of instructional material on, among other things, the bluegrass banjo. It's one of the books I started out on. He's got a book called How to Make a Band Work. He's got just all kinds of instructional materials, tapes, and a fun and maybe little known fact. I'm actually an instructor in the Wernick Jam method, and I've run a couple of group classes for folks that are interested. Basically, if you've taken a few lessons or you've learned a few chords on an instrument, and you know how to play it, alone by yourself in your room, but you'd like to play, with a couple other people in a room. The Wernick method is really designed to get you doing that. And Sleeves can speak to it because Sleeves has done a number of these jam classes. And
Yeah, I think actually, Dan, you first recommended it, and you said Ira Gitlin was teaching,
yeah,
and he's a great banjo player, also bassist around DC.
DC folks know who Ira Gitlin is.
Mhm.
Great guy. Check him out. Look him up.
And you know, I also work for Stanford, and I was mentioning to my boss that I was going to be taking this class with this great banjo player, and he said, "Oh, you know, a friend of mine from college, someone I like really admired in college, was this amazing banjo player who, you know, as far as I know, became a professional banjo player in D.C." And you know, surprise, surprise, Ira Gitlin.
Yeah.
So he's terrific. He's great. I really enjoy how he instructs bass as well, and he just, you know, he can teach you all the different instruments and the Nashville numbering system, and just really make it so that you can play. And you know, and that's this method. You can get classes. There's classes all across the country. So what is the Dr. Banjo? Is that the website?
Yeah, there's a couple of different sites. There's like drbanjo.something. Pete Wernick is known as Dr. Banjo because he plays banjo and has a doctorate. And he's a doctorate in sociology. This is getting into the
really?
nitty-gritty nuts and bolts and stuff, but I'm really convinced that a key part of why his method is such a success is because he has a really robust exit survey, and most people take it.
And it's from a doctor.
That's from a doctor.
It is not to be taken as medical advice.
Not to be taken as medical advice.
Yeah, but let's talk about top hot banjo players of hotness forever, right? Number one. Let's say it together.
Pete Wernick.
Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog on the banjo. We all know, there's no dispute. Kermit the Frog on the banjo.
Who are some of your favorite like banjo players from like movies or TV? Kermit is definitely up there.
This is
That guy
Kermit
in,
versus
that
Deliverance.
Constance Sarah movie.
Was there a
Okay.
banjo in that?
I don't know, probably.
I
genuinely don't know.
I think when they played on stage towards the end there was
which
yeah,
of them-
it's mainly Kermit versus
Okay.
Deliverance Kid.
So
For
Deliverance
number one
Kid,
spot.
A couple things about Deliverance Kid. First of all, Eric Weisberg, actually playing the banjo, actually played the physical banjo in that shot. So Billy Redden, the kid, who was supposed to be playing this like mountain kid, you know, at the beginning of the movie, and they all stop. You know, Ronnie Cox comes out and takes out his guitar and
Right.
tunes it and plays it, and then there's this kid who's playing the banjo. and the kid
I've
doesn't
heard
speak.
Danjo tell this before, so I feel like I know it. The
Yeah.
kid actually had his arm surgically removed because he was so committed to the part to have the banjo player reaching through the sleeves to play the banjo.
Yeah. So Eric Weisberg reaches out behind him and snakes his hands around under his arms and physically plays the banjo
Wow.
in those shots. That's what he did. And funny thing about Billy Redden, that's not his only movie. Billy Redden, I don't know, decades later, you all might not have seen or remember a movie called Big Fish.
Yeah.
Starring, let's see,
Albert
Finney.
Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor,
knew
Alison
something.
Lohman, Angela. Shoot. I'm
We
not
need to
gonna
tell
get
you
it
the
right
whole
now.
cast.
No,
You've got to hear the whole cast before we tell you about
Anyway,
this.
And Danny DeVito. But outside of Danny
It
DeVito,
was taller than Dolly Parton.
the important
That's a true fact. Gets me every time.
No.
Danny DeVito was taller than
I
Dolly
don't
Parton.
want to know that. I don't want that to be true, and I don't want it to be in my head. Okay. Well, anyway, there's this little scene. There's this little reference to Deliverance. At one point, Ewan McGregor. This is all told in like fable and fantasy, you know, tall tales and stuff. So Ewan McGregor's walking through this like idealized sort of fictional town of Spectre, and he comes in as like super nice, and the grass is so green and soft, and nobody wears shoes, and the apple pie is delicious. Everybody's out in rocking chairs. As a matter of fact, there's this fellow who looks to be in his 40s, 50s, and he's sitting on his rocking chair. He's got kind of a grin on his face, and you hear this little Deliverance dueling banjos music play, and you realize this is the same guy, played by Billy Redden, some several decades later. So that's a weird little. He's not actually. There's no banjo visible in the shot, but you hear as you walk by and you see him. There's this little referencing that it's the same actor. Probably playing the same character if we're honest. You know, it's in universe. I think it's canon.
Now,
Who
when
else?
people play dueling banjos, is there a winner?
No. Nope.
There's
There
no.
is-
Everybody wins.
Everybody
Only-
loses in dueling
Everybody
banjos.
everybody loses.
It's like
I was at a Comic Con
I mean,
one
that
time
was-
with my banjo, and somebody like muttered like at me as I walked by. I felt like I felt attacked. I felt
Yes.
catcalled.
Mhm.
That's the closest thing to it that I think we
Yeah.
have. It made me
Right.
uncomfortable.
Well, War Games.
It really did.
War Games, the movie, taught us that there's no winner in dueling.
Oh, I was about to say War Games had a banjo player. What? What? I
Yes,
did
that's
not
what it
watch
was.
that
You
movie
missed that
closely
whole
enough.
banjo where the computer was playing banjo,
Yeah. It's
and it
better than
decided
me.
there is no winner.
It's
So
one
it's better
step
not
ahead
to
of me
play
every time.
banjo. It's better
Yeah.
not to play banjo.
Well, you know the old
Sorry,
quote
can't
from
do that for you, James.
you know the old quote from Mark Twain defines a gentleman as someone who can play the banjo, but doesn't.
That's right.
That was a clever dude, Mark Twain. I wish I had gotten to know him. Star Trek: The Next Generation made me wish I had gotten to know him.
Star Trek is so goofy like that. This is a space show. But I really want to write Mark Twain. Not like a Mark Twain alien analog, metaphor character.
Right, but no.
I
We're
just
gonna
want to
travel
write
back
the actual Mark
to
Twain.
San Francisco,
That sounds good.
back in the day.
Let's just do that.
Hmm.
Star Trek.
Turns out he knew Guinan.
What a goof.
Which is why it's so fun to rent Star Trek costumes and go to a Renaissance fair.
That sounds hilarious.
It does sound
Just
good.
tricorder everybody.
Yep.
Speaking of which, watch Lower Decks. It is the greatest. We're gonna get Dan watching it this trip.
So
Maybe.
we got somebody whose friend's brother is banjo player Ken Perlman.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Perlman in the house.
Nope. Skittetti? Like spaghetti? That's the most interesting spelling. Now, how
You
about
don't know
with
Skittetti?
all right? How about with harmonica? Now, what is that in reference to? Like best harmonica players
Or
in
it's like
movies,
a gentleman is somebody that knows how to play harmonica but doesn't.
or like dueling banjos but with dueling harmonicas? I saw a scene one time. Somebody, how they have those bad lip reading scenes. I saw the final scene from Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, when Darth Vader takes his mask off, and it's just like the top helmet half. Then he's got a little like breathing grill in front of his mouth too, and he has to like take that down separately. And so somebody took that scene and dubbed harmonica music over.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, it's
I
hilarious.
remember that.
It's one of those early dubs. They have to run. Firefly, yeah. Firefly also has some like surprisingly good music. I come back to that a lot. That's a good example of. Well, it's a good example of a lot of things.
That was one of those things that's basically a space western.
Yeah.
Nolan D says hey, and
Yeah, Nolan.
Luxor Shark asks, have you guys ever thought about making a song in honor of Earl Scruggs? I'm a
Well-
fan of Chris Scruggs.
That's a good question. What up? Thank you for the follow. As I answer this question, so I try to keep Earl Scruggs' banjo playing pretty front and center in a lot of what I do.
As you should.
As well as you
Yes.
should in general, but especially I feel like
Hopefully
that's
for Gangstagrass.
yeah, that's one of the central things I think in this band is that, we try to keep the elements clear and distinct in a way that like is recognizable. Like I love doing progressive stuff. I love throwing effects on things and trying to innovate technique, and that's always rewarding. But just throwing in the classic Earl licks and sort of vocabulary, I think, is something I try to do with a lot of the songs. The one in particular that I really thought about off the last album, which I tracked, I think I tracked pretty much the whole album on my TB11, which was apparently like one of the first banjos that Earl used. Might have been the first banjo that he used was a TB11 before he went up to like the Gibson, Granada, Master Tones type of stuff. TB11's got a nice crack to it. It's not as a modern of a sound, but it was, I think you can see where Earl's technique really fits on it nicely. And one of the songs on that album, No Time for Enemies, that I really thought about Earl's playing
more about was the track Freedom. And there's a lot of stuff going on in that track, but for me, I just felt like my role here, my role, if you'll pardon the pun, is to just nail the straight down the middle, classic traditional Earl Scruggs banjo licks, just throughout. And I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly, I do this live. When we play it live, I throw in like a shave and a haircut, like classic Earl Scruggs ending tag lick, and I think I did it in the recording. I don't remember for sure, but it's a really rewarding thing to bring that sound to people. You know, we don't necessarily name it as such and like here's some Earl Scruggs banjo, but I like to think it's present in a lot of the stuff that I do.
Rich in California said best harmonica player, Elwood Blues, which I believe is a Blues Brothers reference.
That is correct.
Blues
That
Brothers.
is correct. Yep, Elwood. Who played the? Do you know anybody
I
know who
think
played the harmonica on that?
Elwood was Dan Aykroyd. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Jake is John Belushi, and Elwood is Dan Aykroyd.
Mhm.
Do you know if he actually was playing the? Because they actually sing. You know, they
don't know.
do. They do that much of the music.
Mhm.
He might have actually played because they did that bit like live. You know,
Right.
a lot. He might have been playing the harmonica for all I know.
Wendy said she was having a hard time hearing us, so I just turned it up a little bit. Hopefully that
Yeah.
will help.
Yeah.
What's happening? Let's see if we can blast the speakers out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, harmonica's good.
We should probably try to not tax this internet connection.
Yeah, I can see our internet output.
It
is-
might be less of a volume thing and more of a every other frame is getting
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, but anyway, we're just dropping in to come to you live a little bit from North
Yep.
Carolina, where we're going to be playing tomorrow at Merle Fest.
Tomorrow and Sunday, and we've got Mammoth Lakes, California on
Yeah,
the
we do.
24th.
Yeah.
We've got the Raleigh-Durham area on October 7th. We've got Fall for Greenville in South Carolina on October 8th. We've got the Burl in Kentucky on the 9th. And we have Eureka Springs, Arkansas coming up on November 13th, and Rail Garden in Memphis the day before that.
Yeah.
So
Rail Garden,
get
yeah.
your
That's
tickets
right. And
now.
Gangstagrass, we are getting out there. We're doing some live shows at places where we feel that the protection protocols are in place.
Yeah.
And we are staying safe out here, but we are getting out and doing some shows. Some people aren't sure about buying tickets, so it's really we want all of you to check out gangstagrass.com/events. Check out what shows we have coming up. Spread the word to your friends, anybody living in those areas, so that they can sell some of these tickets, because we're finally getting out there to do some shows,
Yeah.
and we want to play for some people. So let's
Yeah.
get these audiences out there,
Yeah.
and we're counting on all of you to spread the word.
Yeah, we're trying to bring it back. Clearly, all of you do what you feel comfortable with in terms of your own safety and health. We would not make that decision for you. However, we want you to take seriously the fact that if we are out there, it's because we take this stuff seriously, and we're making the call that this is okay for us to do on these shows. There's a lot of shows, you remember our schedule from a couple years ago. There's a lot of shows we aren't doing right now.
That's very
So
true.
looking at the shows that we are doing, these are the ones that we're comfortable with. These are the ones that we're the most comfortable with. We're comfortable enough to make the decision to actually go out there. We may go dormant, like if you're not seeing a lot of
Yeah.
shows on our November, December, January calendar right now, we might just put a pause on that for a while. So the ones
Yeah.
that we are actually booking right now, we feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And that said, there's a real value to us and to the venues, importantly, when you are able, if you know that you're going to go, you're thinking you're going to go, getting the tickets early really helps us in a real material way. So, anything you can do on that is really appreciated.
I want to speak as an audience member here for just a sec. And one of the things I've been doing ever since I started going back to live events is
I will get a ticket for a show that I want to go to, and I will make a game time decision as to whether I actually go. So I get that ticket because I want to support the artist or the comedian. My friend Joyelle, I got tickets to her shows 2 nights in a row because I just wasn't sure if either I'd be able to go to. So, I think if you're able to do something like that for the artist that you love, get those tickets, and then you can make the decision on the day if you actually want to use the ticket or not. But either way, you're supporting the venue, you're supporting the artist, you're supporting all the people on the crew, you're supporting all the people who are handling the tickets and the food and the drinks, and it really matters. So thank you.
Yeah.
As Wrench says, gangstagrass.com/events. You can find the ticket links and all the stuff that's coming up. And yes, we are coming to Ohio. I don't know if it's announced yet, so I won't say exactly when, but keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye out. Hopefully we're coming to play near you, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And if we're not, keep, spread it around, post it, because maybe you have friends or family in the areas where we are playing for now that we can give them a fun time.
Yeah, you never know. And, one thing, it's always nice to hear people say, "Oh man, I never heard of this," and now I really will check it out and I love it. It's sometimes we hear from people saying, "What? You just were playing in my town and I live there and I didn't know about it and nobody told me about it and I didn't hear about it." That's we don't like to hear that. We don't like to hear that. We want you to know about it. We want your friends, your family, want everybody to know about it when we're there, because we're going. We're coming to a lot of places, not everywhere. We can't get everywhere quite yet. Did I mention that I had a kid recently? But we're making it work. We're out there. We're trying to balance it, and come on out, check out the Gangstagrass. We are a band.
We'll see you around, guys.
Thanks, folks.
Gangstagrass in the house.